Hello and welcome to Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. I'm in a brand new space. I also have a terrible illness. I'm getting over it. Long story. Everyone in my choir got the flu. Not everyone in my choir got the flu. A bunch of us got the flu. The weekend after Thanksgiving. And that was fun. I'm really glad I had a flu shot because it probably wasn't as bad as it could have been. But this is my studio. You can't see the whole thing. It's so far from done. Like, all of my yarn is just like sitting here because I took apart my cubes from IKEA that I had, and all the dowels were like expanded and like compacted and stuff. Nitin had to explain all of this to me because he understands materials and I don't, not scientifically at least. And so we like had this like struggle bus of a time. Like, Jordan and I took it apart, and then I brought it to my studio, and then Nitin and I were trying to rebuild it, and he was like, yeah, these dowels, like a lot of them were breaking, and they were like, anyway, IKEA sent me new dowels, but they're not here yet, so we can't build the cubes until they arrive. My voice is like, yeah, you can tell, it's fatigued. But I'm happy. Today I finally got my closet fixed, the like rod in my clothes closet. My bedroom is like right there. My clothes closet rod had fallen down because it was connected to a shelf and not like in the wall, and I don't know, I hung my stuff on it and it all just like came crashing to the floor because it was too much stuff and like the weight wasn't distributed properly. So that was fun. I'm just trying to blow my nose here. So yeah, forgive me. I'm ill still. I'm finally like feeling like a human again. I can finally smell and taste at least like halfway again. Yeah, so it's been great. Anyway, I'm like really happy about my new space. It's really lovely. Lovely. I only moved around the corner, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so my like yarn is not settled yet, but it's been like a wild ride the last month. It's been a month. That's kind of crazy. But like it was a crazy month. So there's a excuse me, a lot of moving, a lot of just like packing, a lot of craziness. I got sick twice because I was sick before and now I'm sick again. Much sicker the second time. Just last time I just had a lingering cough. This is just like a very serious kind of flu situation, but much better. Much better now. So anyway, what's been going on for the last month other than moving? Crafting stuff. Okay, I finished the green cardigan. Look at this. It's totally done. It needs to be blocked again, and I need to sew the buttons on, and that's it. But it's done. It's like, I'm actually gonna take my sweater off and put it on. This is the Koivu sweater by Boylan Knitworks. Caitlin Hunter. I hand dyed merino DK. And I made it during COVID. I think when I was like properly tiny desk knitting. I have a desk. This is like a normal adult sized desk. Now I'm adult desk knitting. I'm adult sized. Nitin was like, you should get a tiny desk for your studio. Because then you could be tiny desk knitting again. And I was like, maybe not. But just because I actually need this to like, excuse me, do work. But, oh my God. Hello. Look at this. The hood is so large. But, I'm so happy with it. Look at that. Oh, here's a sneak peek of some hand spun. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, the cables are so angry. Like, I know if you have watched my channel before, you know that I like to refer to unblocked cables as angry cables. And I don't have any more angry cables. I just have an angry button band that needs to be blocked. And I have some gold, excuse me, gold buttons to sew on, which I like gold vintage buttons, which I think are gonna look really cool. I finally ordered buttons for my dad's cardigan that I made him for his birthday, which is gonna be given to him at Christmas. I got him another Christmas present, so he's just gonna get a lot of gifts at Christmas. But I ordered them to like my parents' house, so I might actually just send the cardigan there and then make my mom do it. Sorry, Mom. But we'll see. Anyway, so this got done. This was kind of the main like big finish. And I made a lot of progress on this other green cardigan. Although I've kind of stopped. I worked on it a little bit like when I was sick. I don't know. I've been spinning mostly lately, other than finishing this, which was a huge lift. But this guy is coming along. Yeah. So this again is, oh, I actually have the yarn right here. Shockingly, not on purpose, but the yarn happens to be right here. It's Madeline Tosh Euro Sock, 435 yards. It's full 100% merino in the color Boomslang, which I don't think you can get anymore. And this Southampton, just Valley Yarn Mohair in the color 034. I will link the Jimmy Beans website to Mad Tosh Euro Sock. Jimmy Beans owns Mad Tosh now. I will link them in the show notes. I don't think you get this color, but you can get Euro Sock and then this Webs yarn linked in the show notes. So that's fun. I also thought it would be fun. This, let me just, actually, before I continue, I'm a little all over the place. I haven't recorded in ages. I am making, this is the Macaron cardigan from Espace Tricot. It's a free pattern. It's just a V-neck cardigan in wool and mohair, fingering weight and lace weight mohair held together. So that's the combination. Back. My Shenandoah National Park progress cuber. I love Shenandoah National Park. Great place. Yeah, so there's that. Hopefully kind of get to that soon. It would be nice to finish it for Christmas because it's so Christmassy. But I have this. Of course, if I block this, I need to do that. I need to like get that in the water tonight. But I haven't woven in the ends, so maybe I need to do that. I have to go to Costco tonight, so we'll see. Okay, so I talked about this probably before. I'm making a Guernsey, jersey, whatever you want to call it, for my teacher Mark, my music teacher my first music teacher who just retired. Under some sad circumstances. He has really bad tinnitus. He's not old, he's like 65. He just has really bad tinnitus, which my father also has, so I understand how terrible it is. Just makes it hard to make music. It's really sad. And he asked me to knit him a Guernsey a while ago before I even knew he was going to retire. So of course I'm doing that. And he like sent me some frangipani wool from, like England, to like real Guernsey wool. And I made just in navy, and I actually made some little fingerless mittens actually with a Guernsey pattern. This is the, excuse me, the little flags, if you can see that. This was mainly like just so I could sort of check gauge properly. You can kind of see it there. The lighting is not amazing right now for that. But you can see this, like, I just made this little pair. I just did this over the weekend when I was, there you go. That's good. That's a good, there we go. When I was convalescing, I made these. I watched some crappy Netflix Christmas movies, and they weren't that bad. And then I made these. Nitin was like, because I'm sick, he was like, well, we can just watch them like at the same time in our separate houses after we go for a walk and outside in the dreary weather, just like during COVID. I was like, oh my god, that is just like during COVID. We would just like drive to like a park on the weekends and meet and take like a long walk together. And we watched a lot of movies together, like on like Disney Share or Netflix Party or whatever. Because we couldn't go out and do anything. And I lived in DC then, so yeah. He brought me to Target on Saturday so that I could buy a trash can. Super fun. I did go to church on Sunday to sing. It was a big weekend. Big Lessons and Carols Advent weekend. I've talked about this before. My favorite Sunday of the year is the first Sunday of Advent. So I was so grateful that I was like well enough to go to church and sing on Sunday, because I would have missed my favorite hymn, Helmsley, otherwise. And I would have been, well, we would have had it again because we have lessons and carols this Sunday also. We did a lessons and carols service for Advent on Sunday, and we're doing it again. The same service is coming Sunday. So I would have had Helmsley again, but I had it twice on Sunday. So that was great. I'm just like sitting here wearing these. I don't want to take them off. They're actually really comfortable. A little scratchy, but I like them. This there's no pattern for this. I could write it. I'm happy to do that. I make a lot of promises about writing patterns though here, and then I never publish them. So like, don't trust me on that. I will do my best. I'm gonna like make a list of all the patterns I would like to write up in the next year and publish, but we'll see. But yeah, these actually came out perfectly. I tried to do more stitches because I thought the yarn would be like, I thought my gauge would be tighter. Ended up doing like 60 at first, and that was too many. So this was 48 stitches. I did a 48 stitch, 25 rounds of cuff, and then I did this simple texture pattern 3 times on the back, made a gusset here on the side. Yeah, knitted it until it almost hit like halfway up my pinky finger, and then did 5 rounds of ribbing, cast off, picked up the thumb, knitted about 7 rounds, and then cast off the pattern. It's really simple. I know that I make it sound a lot easier than it probably is for a lot of people, because when I first started knitting, I would have had no idea how to do this, but the more you practice, the more you're just gonna be like, oh, I could do whatever I want. It's kind of amazing. So I'm trying to get better at like making my own thoughts and my own things that come out of my head and to things like this more accessible to other people. It's one of my intentions for 2024. So yeah, knitting has been fun. I made another pair of fingerless mitts, but they're not done because I didn't do the thumbs yet. This is hand spun. This is a skein of hand spun that I made right when I started knitting, actually, or not knitting, spinning. It was a BFL rainbow bag of roving from a Feederbrook fiber, Feederbrook farm, and it was like a rainbow gradient, and I had a skein and I made these. This was my Thanksgiving project. I made these on Thanksgiving Day, so still haven't finished them because they need these, and I used the entire skein. Did not lose yarn chicken, and there was another skein of purple and pink, and so I'm going to use the purple and pink to finish the thumbs. So yeah, that was fun. They're cute. I like fingerless mitts. I find them fine here because it's not very cold. But yeah, I think I like them. Oh, I just love this sweater so much, and I'm going to put these back on because I like them. And now I can measure them and make start marks. Gansey. I need to finish my super simple summer sweater, which has been coming along in my convalescence. And then I made these and I got derailed, and I've been spinning, and because I can spin in bed, you will see all the spinning. There's a lot of spinning news. I have a lot of spinning news to share. I have a big amount of spinning, a big new thing, huge. It's sitting right in front of me. It's a wheel that's new. Well, it's old, but it's new to me. So, yeah, so that is, I'm trying to think, that's kind of wrapping up the knitting stuff. I'm still working on getting a coffee cup cozy pattern together. I don't even have time to breathe right now. So, and poor Jordan, neither does she. So we will see, because she does my layout. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. I would like it to happen, but we'll see. So spinning. This is a skein of Joan Arbin that I did actually before I left the old house. This is Yarnadelic in Of My Hands. I love this color. Yarnadelic is 100% Corriedale from the Falklands. It is gorgeous. It's bouncy. I spun this on Thelma, so my matchless, Shack matchless, my wheel. Although now I have multiple wheels. Actually, I have 3 because Monica's old wheel is here as well until she moves and she has to take it back. Her name is Gertrude. Gertrude is also here. I have the whole gang. The gang's all here. So this is, yeah, this is beautiful. This is a little thicker than I usually spin on the Matchless. It's more of a sport weight, closer to maybe almost DK. There's like 300 and some yards on it. But I really like it. I think that's kind of fun. Okay, yeah. So this was a good spin. I enjoyed this. I'm working on another spin on Thelma. I'm taking these off so you can see. Well, yeah, sure, here. Come with me. This way. Nope, this is gonna fall off. We're not doing this. Hang on. This is like adjustable. There it is. Oh my gosh, you can just see it. Look at that. This is Thelma. And this is the spin I'm doing. So this is a John Arbon spin. This is Harvest Hues. This is the old Harvest Hues blend. This is Merino and Sport Blaze, not the wood with BFL, although I have some wool. It's yarn. It's like milled yarn from John Arbon of the new Harvest Hues, and it's really nice. But this is the colorway Bracken, which they do still have. They have all the colors they used to have, I think. They just have more. And this is what it looks like. I'm not going to take this bobbin off the wheel because actually, sure, why not? It's not that hard to do that. That's what it looks like split up. Hang on, I have a mini skein of this in the new formula. Where is it? Here it is. This is what it looks like in skein. Although this has BFL in it, so this is like slightly different. The Harvest Hues Mini and Bracken. So that's fun. You can tell. There it is. You can see them next to each other. This is obviously plied and this is not, but oh, the sun just came out. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, cool. Well, there you go. That's fun. So one thing that I've been trying lately is like, I feel like when I got the Matchless, it really felt like too much wheel for me. You know how some people have like a fancy car? I just remember the scene in Ted Lasso where, like, if you've seen Ted Lasso, there's this this player named Colin, and he has a Lamborghini, and somebody says something about it, or somebody says that I think Sam is like talking about how he's really scared when Colin drives him anywhere in his Lamborghini, and Colin says, like, yeah, it's way too much car for me. That's how I felt when I got Thelma. Like, I had just learned to spin and she was just like way too much wheel for me. Like, I did not need, there was too many bells and whistles. Like, there's just so many whorls and drive systems and like things. And so I just used the biggest whorl. I only ever used a double drive. I'm only ever going to use Thelma in double drive. Like, let's be honest. If you have double drive wheel and you want to spin worsted spun yarn, you should use it in double drive. I mean, you should do whatever you want. But to me, it's like the Matchless is, that's what that's for. Like, I would like a machine to do the thing that it does the best. And that is what Thelma does the best. So she spins in double drive. Anyway, I watched the Jillian Eve video, I'll link it below, where she like uses her, maybe it's her Ladybug. She uses one of her Shacked Castle wheels, either the Matchless or the Ladybug, and she spins fiber into yarn on each of the whorls and doesn't change anything else. And she's just like trying to show you the tensioning system, like how the like, what do you call it? How the like ratio system works. And it's brilliant. She has such different thicknesses of yarn based on which whorl she used. So I'm like, okay, I think that I have enough spinning experience now that I can kind of like drop down to the lower sizes. And when I tell you it is thinner and more consistent, I'm surprised. I'm doing a finer yarn than I normally would because I'm using a smaller whorl, because now I know what the hell I'm doing. And wow, it feels good. Like, I feel like I feel like I was kind of like coasting for a while in the like land of spinning, and like it was kind of making consistent skeins. They were on the wheel. Like the e-spinner I was pretty confident with, but like I wasn't always getting exactly what I wanted, and consistency was like still a little bit like, sometimes I would do really well, and then sometimes the skeins would, I'd be like, what's wrong with this? Like, I don't understand this, why it looks like this or whatever. But I think I'm finally starting to get the gist of like serious consistency, and that's great. I think I've kind of like gotten to a new plateau, or gotten to the next, like, you know, vista somewhere. You know, it's a lifelong journey spinning, but I think that there's been some progress. So one thing that I told myself I wanted to do in 2024 was learn long draw, because I should have prepared for this. Where's that skein? Oh, here it is. Okay. Because I had this roving. Actually, hang on, it's right here. This roving that I got at Rhinebeck in 2022, actually from the same woman that I bought Thelma from. This is Coopworth roving. It's really pretty. I had 8 ounces of it. I was like, that's so much. Like, I love it. But, you know, I was going to make like a top or something nice. I don't know if 8 ounces is a lot. And I worsted spun it on my, well, I separated it into 2 4-ounce bumps. And then I spun it worsted on my E-spinner Louise. And it frustrated me a lot. And so I just decided to chain play it. And I was like, I'm going to save this other bump for when I decide to learn long draw, because this was not expensive. This isn't like fancy fiber. I'll just use this as practice. And I have most of my fiber is comb tops. So I was like, well, I should just keep some roving for when I want to do that. So this is my chain played skein, which I think I showed last time. I said I was going to make socks with it. I still am. I'm going to make socks with this. It's not as, you know, it's not perfect, obviously. But actually I think the speed was just too high. But actually I'm pretty fond of this skein. So, you know, did a good job with it. But anyway, long draw. So let's talk about long draw. I am terrified of it, because I think everybody's kind of like scared to try long draw for the first time, because if you're not a spinner, basically what happens when you spin is you have to have 2 hands when you learn the inchworm method, or short forward draft of like worsted spinning, which is when all the fibers, you're aligning the fibers in the same direction, making it really smooth. You have a hand in the fiber supply. I use my right hand on the fiber supply. And you have a hand for drafting, and I use my left hand for drafting. And so you hold the fiber supply. Let's just demonstrate this with this roving. With this hand, and you draft, you pull fibers out with this hand. So I'll do it vertically so you can see it. And so this is called the drafting triangle, the space between your hands, and you pull that. And the twist is coming into the yarn from up here where you're feeding it into the wheel, and you slide this hand this way, and you try not to take it off the fiber. This hand can move around, but the twist, this is the hand that lets the twist in, so you don't want the twist to go into the supply before you're pulling it and aligning the fibers in the same direction. Because then it can get in, and you get these big thick bits that are annoying. So when you're worsted spinning, you have to control the twist very strictly. When you're woolen spinning, long draw, those are not mutually exclusive terms. I understand that. I'm using them sort of mutually exclusively, but that's not what I mean. But when you spin woolen, you have roving. Ideally, you can do either one with either one. I think you could do worsted spinning with roving. It's just that it's the fibers are more jumbled, so it's more of a sort of semi-woolen. But if you want to spin woolen, you have to be willing to let go with your drafting hand, and because you're letting the twist into the fiber supply, you're pulling back a long way. That's what's called long draw. You're pulling back, and you're just kind of letting the twist in. It's trapping the air, and it's not aligning the fibers. That's the point. So you get more yardage out of less mass of fiber weight, because there's air trapped in there, which is fun. It's a lot more airy. It pills more easily. If you've ever, like Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, this is what this is knitted in. This is my Long Road hoodie, by the way. I didn't say that. From Contrasts by Meiju KP, published by Lina. Knitted in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in colorway button jar. This is woolen spun. You get a lot of yardage on there, but it pills more easily because there's all those airs trapped in there. And it's really warm because the air that's trapped in the yarn gets heated by your body heat, and it keeps you all warm. So that's fun. And I've wanted to learn long draw, but it's scary to kind of give up control. I'm sure that spinners who are watching this understand, like, it's like when you decide to start long draw, it's like, I have to let go. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's all gonna break. It doesn't break, actually, surprisingly. Anyway, when I was traveling for Thanksgiving, I went to go see some family friends, very close family friends in New Jersey. I grew up a long way from most of my extended family. So Micah and Heather, these two women, and their mom, Jan, they're kind of like more like my aunts than any of my real aunts. I mean, I love my real aunts and uncles. They're wonderful. And my Aunt Carrie, she lives in Toronto, and I saw her a lot when I was in college. But because my parents are academics, I didn't grow up near any of my extended family. And so Micah and Heather, who lived in Burlington when I was really little, because they were students at UVM, they were more like my aunts even now. And so it was kind of like being with family for Thanksgiving. My family doesn't really do Thanksgiving because my mom's Canadian. My dad hates Thanksgiving because he doesn't like eating too much, which is ridiculous. I love Thanksgiving food. So I ate Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving with Mike and Heather and Jan and their family. And then I also ate Thanksgiving on Saturday when I got back with Jordan, my roommate's parents at their house, which was lovely. So anyway, I was visiting Micah, who lives on this horse farm that her mom owns. Jan, she has a horse farm, and on the shore in Jersey, and they kind of do like a recuperation for racehorses. And Jan owns some racehorses as well. And Micah was like talking about how she had a spinning wheel. I had my electric wheel with me, and I was like, "You have a spinning wheel? Like, can you use it?" And she was like, "No, I tried. I'm terrible." And I was like, "Is it here?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's in the basement." So we went to her mom's house and we found it in the basement, and it was an Ashford Trad. I have dated it to the 80s thanks to some helpful Facebook comments. And it is right here. Let's like do this and flip this around. You will now see. Anyway, there it is. So there's an Ashford. Micah didn't. She was like, "Can you take it home?" And I was like, "And use it?" And I was like, "Sure, I guess so." That's where the yarn cubes are going to be. Those are the pieces of the cubes down there. Yeah, I was like, "I can take it home. If you can have it back, like, please tell me if you ever want it back, because like it's yours. And I will happily give it back to you. I'm just babysitting it, and I have room. So if she ever wants it back, I hope she tells me. Yeah, her name is Felicity. I have a hard time naming things, so Maggie named her. That was helpful. I think Felicity is a great name for her. Yeah, so nice little Ashford Trad from the 80s. She's a little creaky, and she didn't totally work. She needed a screw to keep the orifice mother well in place, and also a new drive band, which was no problem. I had a roll of cotton with me in my spinning kit for my e-spinner. So made a drive band, no problem, got it working. It's a little creaky. Then I have been talking about like what needs to get oiled. I have some oil. We might need WD-40 some of it. But it creaks a little bit when it spins, but it does spin. It's got a Scotch tension system. It does not have double drive. Some Ashford Trads have double drive and single drive functions. This one does not. It's Scotch tension only, which is fine. But I tried to spin on it there. I was spinning very fine, like worsted spinning. It was breaking a lot. I was frustrated. It doesn't have multiple whorls, obviously, because it's Scotch tension system. It just has like, yeah. It has a spot for a drive band, and then it has a groove on the bobbins for the brake band, Scotch tension, like fishing rod thing, but it doesn't have a whorl system, so you can't change that. So I was finding it frustrating. Brought it home, continued spinning. It was getting better. I was like treadling faster, getting more twist in the yarn, stopped breaking so much. Realized eventually I'm used to spinning on a double drive wheel, which just puts so much more twist in the yarn, because you can control how much twist goes into the yarn based on the whorls and the ratios. Especially lately, since I've been going down the smaller whorls, I'm used to just being able to spin as fine yarn as I want. Every wheel is different. So I thought, well, let's spin thicker. That started working. And then I was just like spinning this Swartless roving, having a nice time. And I thought, what if I just let go? What if I like tried some long draw? If I just let go of this? So I let go and it didn't break. And I was like, that's kind of fun. And I'm still using my left hand. I'm pinching. I'm just making sure that it's, fine. All is kind of the same thickness. And I was like, oh, okay. And I started pulling it out further and further. Okay. A lot less breakage. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And I realized it's like one of those moments where you're like finally using the tool for the thing that it's sort of meant to do. And I was like, okay, I'm using this tool for what it's meant to do. It's supposed to be my long draw wheel. That's what this is for. And I'm having a great time. Here's my first bobbin. Oh. Oh, here it is. So I'm really happy with this. I'm so excited. So yeah, it's definitely like less consistent than my worsted spun yarn, and I'm sure it will get more consistent the more I try, but I don't really care. I'm like so pleased with the fact that it worked. Oh my gosh. So that's been like the thing lately. So Andrea Mowry has been doing the like 100-day spindle challenge to learn the supported spindle. And I was like, great, I'll do 15 minutes a day of woolen spinning, except it's way more than that. Because like last night I was watching The Bear. I love The Bear. I've watched The Bear before, but I was rewatching The Bear season 2 and probably did like 2 hours of this. That's when I made this giant chunky bobbin. So I'm now working on another bobbin. Then I'm gonna apply them together and we're gonna find out what happens. I'm super excited. It's just like, yeah, it's just been a fun experience to like learn this new thing and let go of some of that control and the spinning and just play a little bit and feel like the wheel is really being used for what it's meant to be used for. So, I have a double drive wheel for making those fine yarns. I don't need to use Felicity for that. I should use her for a long draw. And I was gonna get an Ashford traditional at some point anyway, because they're easy to find and they're usually in pretty good shape. But I was like, great, this is free. I mean, it's not mine, but I will happily use it. If Micah wants back, she can have it back and I'll get another one when I need to. But I am really enjoying this. So very grateful for the, the fun that has brought me in the past couple of weeks. So yeah, more spins. Well, this one's right here. This one's not washed yet. This was just a 4-ounce bump from Feeder Brook that I fractal spun. It's a little crazy, but I think it's fun. I spun this on Louise during the weekend when I was sick. There are always a few slubs in the Feeder Brook, so it's like it's almost like it's second cuts, but it's only $10 for like 4 ounces, so I never really care. Anyway, if you knit this in color work, you can't tell. So this needs to be washed, but otherwise it's good. Devonia spin. I did a Devonia spin for my mom for Christmas, so Mom, if you're watching, turn it off. No, she's not watching this. She's too busy. She's grading. It's not done. I still have another 100 grams to do. This is Devonia top from John Arbin in the colorway Snow Ash. It's really pretty. Very heathered. Kind of a blue. Bluish, purplish. Yeah, gorgeous. Anyway, so there's that. There's one thing. It's just a tiny bit wet still. Over here. This was a bump. I applied it on my birthday right after I moved into the new house. This was a bump of Corriedale that was black and white combed together. I dyed it purple. Well, several purples, as you can tell, and sort of blues. Fractal spun it. It was 6 ounces. I don't think it ended up 6 ounces but this had a hole. There was a whole dramatic thing where the like top of the bobbin came off because I was using my e-spinner. And like the bobbins screw together and it came off and it made so much yarn barf, but I saved it. It's crazy. I was talking to my mom at the time, and I'm glad I was talking to her because I think I would have just like cried and screamed otherwise. It's like, this is what a way to spend my 30th birthday. Like, screaming at yarn. And then this is a not Devonia. This was John Urban Appledore in Hanging Down. So I got a bump of Spicy Pippin and a bump of Hanging Down. The Spicy Pippin one was huge. It was like 165 grams because I think they just sent me the end piece. Anyway, I'm gonna make a sweater with them together. Clearly I'm in my green era, but let's see if I can find the noise. Yeah, here it is. This is the Spicy Pippin and this is the Hanging Down. So they have a lot of the same colors, and then there's just more bright in this one, obviously, like lighter. So there they are. So I'm gonna make a raglan sweater where the top is the Spicy Pippin, and then at some point there's like a color block and it switches to this for the like bottom of the body and sleeves. Because this is all pretty fine fingering weight yarn. Spun these both on the e-spinner. I have an electric eel wheel, if you're wondering. So those are my spins. Current's other spin is this Romney lamb that Molly, my fleece processing friend Molly, got from Etsy, I think. I dyed it blue. I'm working on the second bobbin now. I think it's gonna be really pretty, kind of a fingering weight yarn. Yeah, there's that. So yeah, that's kind of it. It's the working on my Swartbless woolen spun, the orange on Thelma, and then this guy on Louise. So that's been fun. Yeah, so I'm working on some gift knits, not too many. I think it's stressful. I was gonna knit my mom one of those glittery sweaters for Christmas, but last year I did the gold one Christmas to New Year's challenge. I just don't have time, and I'm going home on the 25th after I sing. So I'm gonna cast on the sparkly silver sweater. Same thing, Christmas to New Year's. That's when I'm going home, Christmas to New Year's. Like, I'm going home on Christmas and I'm coming back here on New Year's Eve. So when I'm home, that's my project, is to knit my mom a sparkly sweater, just like mine. So that'll be fun. Yeah, and I have a project coming up with the Harvest Hues. Like, I showed you this mini scan. I have a bunch of these. Fun coming up. I designed a thing for John Urban yarn, and the yarn is here. John Urban was great. They sent me all the yarn I wanted for this design. Like, I submitted it to their annual, and they were like, we already have something that like is too similar to this, but we want to send you the yarn so you can publish the design yourself. And I was like, cool, that sounds great. So, which means I also don't have to keep it a secret, which is fun, but it's still a secret. So I am doing a cowl pattern. If you know me, you've probably seen it. But it is, it's really cute, and I'm excited about it. So we'll see. Gotta get that sample knit up. But yeah, anyway, I have some things to do. It's 2:30, so I'm glad that I could be with you today. Finally back again, and thank you so much for watching. This has been Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Bye!